This is a story about little David and his dreaming tree. Written and read by Ruma. There was a little boy named David John who lived with his mom, sisters, brother, and grandpa in a beautiful log cabin in the forests of Johannesburg in the country of South Africa. Here they lived, loved, laughed, and worked hard every day to enjoy a simple yet abundant life. Their Mama Val was very, very smart, and she would teach them their lessons in the morning before they went off to do their chores together. They spent all their days together gardening in the sunshine, taking care of all of their animals, playing in the forest, cleaning, cooking, and reading together at night. Grandpa took good care of the family after the tragic loss of little David's father, John Matthews. Little David couldn't imagine a day or a world without his grandpa in it. He was mesmerized by this great man, and he grew even more attached to his beloved grandpa every day. "Grandpa, I love you more than candy and fresh snow," little David would say while he reached up to hug him, tugging gently at Grandpa's fine beard. "Well then, little David, I am the luckiest grandpa in the whole world," he would say, and tug back at little David's tuft on top of his head. He was truly an amazing grandpa with lots of energy, and every night after supper he played the violin and sang sweet songs for David and his sisters, Jane and Anne, and brother Peter. They would all join in the musical performance, and his sisters played the drums and tambourine, while his brother played the piano. Little David played his little guitar that he loved so dearly. You see, it was a gift from his grandma who had passed away many years ago. The music would go on, and Mama would dance and laugh and clap the whole time. Little David loved seeing his Mama so happy. She had stopped smiling for a while after Papa died. On top of being a great musician, Grandpa was also a great storyteller and told them stories almost every night. Little David had the nicest bedroom in the cabin. It was the smallest, but it was his alone, and he had to climb a knobby ladder that Grandpa made out of the fallen branches of the local leadwood trees to get up there. It was truly like climbing up into a treehouse. His bed took up almost the whole space, but little David didn't mind at all. His bed was like a huge fluffy white cloud, and he loved sleeping and dreaming in this cloud of fluffiness. His roof was all windows, so he could see the stars straight above him. Some of the plants from outside actually started trailing into his room, and it really felt like a dreamy jungle. Sometimes his little sister would join him in his big bed, and they would snuggle and count the stars against the black. This could take hours because there were so many stars. After story time, Grandpa climbed up to bed with David to tuck him in. "Okay, little David, it's time for a tale about the dreaming tree. Just for you, my dear. Do you remember the dreaming tree you found in the forest behind our house? It was the day we went on that long hike with your sisters and brother to collect berries. That's your dreaming tree, little David. We all have one, each of us. I have one too." "Oh yes, Grandpa, I do remember. It was like a magic tree. It was glowing at night, and I loved seeing it. It was so much fun to climb. I also remember exactly how to get there, Grandpa." "That's my smart boy," Grandpa said with a hearty chuckle, while little David proceeded to give him directions to his tree. "Can we go again soon? Please, please?" David was getting excited. "Well, of course, my boy. You can go there every night if you like. You should go there late at night when everyone else in the world is asleep. Let's go over how to get there again. I don't want you getting lost. Of course, I will leave your window unlatched and a snack up by the gate for you to take on your journey to the dreaming tree. Okay, Gramps, I can only go there late at night when everyone else in the world is asleep, right? Yes, my boy, that's correct. And let me tell you the way again. You climb carefully out of your window and jump down to the landing, which is only 2 feet down, right next to the mossy path. You follow the mossy path all the way to the babbling brook, where you must balance carefully while walking across the tree bridge. Once you cross the tree bridge, you look up over the ridge of trees and find the moon in the sky. You must follow it all the way down the side of the big hill until you come to the ravine. Walk alongside the ravine until you get to the clearing. Once you get there, turn left and climb up that hill. As you get closer to the top, you will see your beautiful dreaming tree glowing softly in the darkness, waiting for you. Run to your tree and give it a big hug so it knows you are there. Then you can set up your sleeping bag and eat your snack and drink your hot chocolate because you will be hungry. If you get tired, you can take a nice slumber. You will be safe, I promise. Your tree will take good care of you. Nothing can hurt you when you are with your dreaming tree. Nothing. When you fall asleep near the dreaming tree, it will help you see your future, and you will dream about it vividly. Isn't that amazing, my dear boy? Yes, Grandpa, I'm so excited. Will I be famous, Gramps? Yes, you will, my little one. I'm sure of it. Now we've talked so long, it's too late to have your brother and sisters come in. Let me tuck you into bed so you can fall asleep and be with your tree tonight. I will leave the window unlatched for you, Grandpa said with a wink, and set your travel gear where I told you. And my boy, do you remember how much I love you? Yes, Gramps, you love me so much that your love will fill up all the heavens and then overflow back onto earth for other people to receive. Other people who don't get enough love. Who are these people, Grandpa? Well, my dear boy, they are other people of the earth, just like you and me. We have to love them all. Okie dokie, Gramps. I will, I promise. With that, little David closed his eyes and fell fast asleep. After a few minutes, he quickly jumped up out of bed and scrambled out his window. Grandpa had left a rucksack with food and a sleeping bag for little David to take on his journey. The rucksack contained an apple, one of Grandpa's delicious seed cakes, and a flask of hot cocoa. David was excited by the prospect of his upcoming picnic next to his dreaming tree. He started off on the mossy path and followed it all the way to the babbling brook. Some playful bush babies swung alongside him the whole way as if keeping watch. They made him laugh with all their chattering. As he neared the babbling brook, he very carefully balanced and stretched out his arms while walking across the tree bridge. A playful pangolin rolled up into a ball and followed him across the tree bridge as if escorting him to the other side. When he jumped off the tree bridge safely on the other side, the friendly pangolin landed on his 4 paws and then waddled away, looking back at David with a wink. Little David looked up over the ridge of trees and found the moon in the sky. You must follow it all the way down the side of the big hill until you come to the ravine, he could hear his grandpa's loving voice in his head. As he hiked down the hill, he could hear some running water faintly in the distance. When he got to the ravine, he walked alongside the small stream all the way to the clearing. He could hear the hoot-hoot of the African wood owl, and several spotted thick-knees sang to him as he walked the stream. As he approached the clearing, he turned left to climb up the hill towards his dreaming tree. There were several black rhino families in the distance up on the horizon, grazing and eating leaves and shrubs. He knew their silhouette against the starry sky well and loved them ever so dearly. As he hiked up the hill a little more, there it was. He could see it shining in the darkness. It was so beautiful, the most beautiful thing he ever saw, and it was his tree, only his. He ran to the tree with his rucksack and sleeping bag, bumping his little body forward. He fell near the tree from sheer excitement, undid his travel gear, and gave his tree the biggest hug he could. All of a sudden, the tree turned into many colors, the colors of a rainbow, and it was magical. The night sky lit up with fireworks, and little David just laughed and laughed. His dreaming tree was happy to see him, too. He set up his sleeping bag, crawled inside, and sat up to eat his snack. There was a yummy, shiny red apple, Grandpa's famous seed cake, and a flask of creamy, hot cocoa. He felt very grown up, enjoying his picnic all by himself. He was so proud of himself for getting to his tree without getting lost. Not once. Little David started yawning and was very, very tired now from his long journey. He gave his tree a good-night hug and then laid down into the comfort of his cozy sleeping bag, which was nestled into the giant roots. He fell into a very deep sleep, with his hand touching his dreaming tree on one side of the knobby roots. The roots cradled his body, and he felt so warm and loved. There was a jolt of lightning where his hand and the root of the tree met. It did not wake him up. He was sleeping so very soundly. His mind's eye, however, was working overtime, and he could see thousands of smiling faces in front of him. Some were cheering, some of them were laughing and singing, and some were crying and smiling at the same time. He looked down and saw that he was holding the guitar his grandma gave him so long ago. He was playing a song his grandpa had taught him. He felt so wonderful and so incredibly happy that all the people were smiling and feeling the love that came out of his guitar. It was the love from his grandpa and grandma. It was the love that his grandpa told him about, the love that all people need every day. Just then, little David could feel warmth on his face, and he woke up next to his dreaming tree, a brilliant sunrise, and the loving sound of his grandpa's voice. He was calling him to come home for breakfast. Little David ran down the hill into his grandpa's arms and yelled, "Grandpa, Grandpa, I saw thousands and thousands of people, and they were all cheering at me and laughing and smiling, and some were crying too. What does this mean, Grandpa? I had guitar with me too, Grandpa." "That all sounds amazing, my boy. Take what you can from your dreams, make them as real as anything, and never ever question what the dreaming tree tells us. We must let life unfold as it was meant to, for you and you alone. No one else can have your life, and no one else can live your life. How could you be anyone other than you, my sweet, dear little David? Only you, little David, can hold that special gift for yourself. Remember to always be yourself, because everyone else is already taken." My dearest grandson, I am so very proud of you and the amazing man I know you will become. Remember, the most important thing in life is to live your purpose, love our dear Mother Earth and all of her creatures, humans and animals alike, and to be kind always, no matter. I will, Grandpa. I really, really promise I will do that. And he did just exactly that. He grew up pursuing his passion and his gift to play and write music, to make people laugh, to make some of us cry, but mostly to make all of us smile and dance. The end. I want to encourage all of you to embrace your passion and feed it regularly, and remember that you are enough, whatever you decide to do in life. You can dream big or dream small. As long as it is your dream, the size doesn't matter at all. Sending you all love and best wishes for the year 2021. This is Ruma Tenbrink signing off. Have a great evening.